Last night, Fox was skewering Donald Trump, and Trump was watching it live, and Trump was panic posting about it. The Fox host, Trey Gowdy, along with his guest, top GOP political strategist Karl Rove, were ripping into Donald Trump's behavior. We're ripping into Donald Trump talking about how girls should only have $2 and not $30. They were ripping into Donald Trump posting AI images of himself as the Pope. They were ripping into Donald Trump for talking about how gas is $1.98 and egg prices are down 87% and groceries are down to the lowest ever, when none of that is true. And people who go and buy these things know that Donald Trump is lying. So Donald Trump was having a full meltdown last night while Fox was skewering him live on TV. Here's what Donald Trump posted. He goes, "I don't need to have Karl Rove of Fox News tell me what to do. The guy's a total loser who's been wrong about almost everything." Let me show you what went down on Fox that had Donald Trump panic posting and melting down late last night. So Trey Gowdy, who used to be a MAGA Republican Congress member in the revolving door of Fox, is now a host of Fox. Trey Gowdy said, I don't remember Donald Trump talking about conquering Canada or dressing up like the Pope or deporting U.S. citizens without due process. Watch this.
I think sometimes people read a mandate too broadly. They think if I'm elected, I'm empowered to do whatever the heck I want. I don't remember any talk about Canada or Greenland or the Pope or deporting U.S. citizens the night he was elected.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And then next, Trey Gowdy's guest, top GOP political strategist Karl Rove, talks about how Donald Trump keeps saying gas is $1.90 and inflation is doing great. Like, it's not. He's lying. And Rove's like, the American people know that Trump isn't telling the truth here. The guy just keeps on digging and digging the hole deeper for himself because Americans know he's a liar. Here, play this clip.
The others, it's sort of incomplete. We're inflation. The president is, saying gas is $1.90. I just filled up my tank. It ain't $1.90. And we do not have have inflation tapped down to 2%, and we run the risk of having a jump up at least in a one-time way if these tariffs are put in place. And there's a lot of concern about the economy. The president's ratings on the handling of the economy, and if tariffs are in the 30s, and his overall approval now is in the mid to low 40s, and that's not a good place to be 100 days in. Plenty of time to turn that around. But he's got to be focused on those two things, I think, that people wanted, which was a strong and prosperous economy and inflation being wiped out.
Yeah, all of this is going down on Fox. And just think about it. Trump is there with his phone, posting in all caps while all of this is going down. And then Karl Rove says, and then when Donald Trump said that, little girls should only have $2 and not lots of dolls, he goes, people are going to be watching this, and even Trump supporters are watching this and saying Trump's a billionaire, his friends are billionaires, they're having this lavish life in Mar-a-Lago with private jets and with yachts and with all of these things, and they're telling people you could only have $2 and 250 pencils and not 500 pence. Like, what are you doing, Donald? This was going down on Fox. Here, watch this.
If the president were to call me, I would say, I want you to address the nation from the Oval Office on the issue of tariffs. No media, no questions. Explain to them exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and why perhaps a little bit of short-term pain is going to be worth it. Why not do that? Why not just go to the Oval Office and speak directly to the American people?
Yeah, I wish he'd done it at the beginning of this process. I think he may be at a point where the American people say, well, great, now you tell us. But it would be better. It would be better to give a formal address to the country than to make these offhand comments. I thought it was really problematic when he said, "Well, you know what? The kids, those little girls at Christmas, they don't need $30. They can do it too. And if they have to pay a couple more bucks for them, okay. Well, it sounds like Mr. Scrooge." And the ordinary American is like, "Wait a minute! I thought you were on my side. I didn't think you were on the side of saying I need to do with less." You got plenty of money. I got to make mine stretch as far as I can. I think right now, almost more important than a White House address is to begin to show some progress. Get a couple of trade agreements, as you know, serving in Congress. They are tough things to get done, and they're big, thick bills. But at least the president could be in a position where he says, look, we've reached an agreement with fill in the blank, India or Japan or North Korea or South Korea, and here's what we've agreed to. We've agreed that our tariffs on each other's goods and services is going to be 0 or 5%, and we're going to address the problem of, in the case of Japan, of selling U.S. beef and blah, blah, blah. But give us a sense that we are on a path to getting these.
And next, Karl Rove talked about on Fox how it was deeply offensive for Donald Trump to post these images of himself as the Pope. He's like, what are you thinking? You are deeply offending the Catholic community, and it's weird. All going down on Fox. Here, watch this clip.
Tweeting out a picture of you as the Pope is deeply offensive to a great many people. Going out there and saying, for example, this guy from Maryland, I don't know whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. I don't know if he's a gang member or not. But the fact is bring him back to the United States, lay out the facts in a court of law, and get it done. Don't. It does no good to let that thing go out there for 4 or 5 weeks and eat away at the president's approval on immigration. Take a look at the difference between approval ratings on the border, where he is in positive territory by a good margin, and handling the issue of immigration, which includes these other things, and it's significantly less, and he's upside down. That shows the discernment of the American people.
By the way, Donald Trump's been lashing out not just at Fox, but last night he was lashing out at Rupert Murdoch's Wall Street Journal. Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal, and a Wall Street Journal reporter was asking Donald Trump a question on Air Force One, and Donald Trump's like, you're rotten. The Wall Street Journal's a rotten newspaper. You're bad. You're bad for this country. You're an agent of China, as Donald Trump says. Here, play this clip. Watch this.
Who are you with? Wall Street Journal. That's what I thought. You people treat us so badly. Wall Street Journal has truly gone to hell. Go ahead. It's a rotten newspaper. You hear me what I said? It's a rotten newspaper. I wouldn't tell the Wall Street Journal because it'd be wasting my time. There are talks, but I don't want to talk to the Wall Street Journal. But look, Wall Street Journal is China-oriented, and they're really bad for this country. Go ahead.
I mean, as you watch Donald Trump there, he is a sick and demented individual. Murdoch owns Fox. Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal. Murdoch owns the New York Post. And there Donald Trump is lashing out over and over again at Murdoch and Fox. I want to give a hat tip to our friend at the MeidasTouch Network, Democratic Congressmember Jake Auchincloss, who recently went on Fox, and he delivered the cold, hard truth. And even the Fox host was kind of stunned and didn't really know what to do, as Auchincloss was pushing back and saying, look, we all know what's going on here. Trump cares more about his meme coins than the American people. Trump cares more about doing deals in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia, and his son doing deals in the United States, creating a club called the executive branch, like selling access to the executive 500,000 a pop or whatever it is, going to cost. And here's what Auchincloss said. Here, play this clip.
So do you concede that it takes a little time to reset the equation after all of that? And do you hope that the president is successful in creating a strong economy at the end of this, once the deals are worked out with a lot of major countries?
Martha, I was a Marine before I was a congressman. I'm an American before I'm either. I want this economy to be ripping and roaring, regardless of who is president. But what I am seeing is a president who is more interested in the valuation of his meme coin than he is in people's 401ks. What I'm seeing is a president who, along with Howard Lutnick, is self-dealing on crypto. And by the way, Howard Lutnick owns his own crypto business on the side, instead of worrying about the strength of the U.S. dollar. This is concerning to not just me, it's concerning to the job makers across America who have to make decisions about hiring, about capital equipment, and they're all pulling back. And when they pull back, you tip a good economy into a recession.
And again, when you talk about how deeply, deeply unserious the Trump regime is, I mean, this is the White House posting Donald Trump with a Sith red lightsaber yesterday. And they go, happy May 4th to all, including the radical left lunatics who are fighting so hard to they can't even spell correctly, to bring Sith lords, murderers, drug lords, dangerous prisoners, and gang members back into our galaxy. You literally have the Sith lightsaber right there. And by the way, you think Donald Trump's going to be endearing himself to the American people when he's posted images like this of him and Melania and Barron, and Melania with golden strollers, while Donald Trump is saying, "Oh, you don't need to have any of these things. Why do children even need dolls for? You get 2 dolls. They're going to be a little more expensive. You don't get pencils. You get like 5 pencils." The hell are you talking about? Here is Donald Trump on Air Force One talking about that as well. Play this clip.
Listen. All I'm saying is that a young lady, a 10-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl, 15-year-old girl doesn't need 37 dolls. She could be very happy with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I would, let's not waste a lot of time on a stupid question. What else?
And again, Trump and his regime are deeply unpopular. They're saying some of the most dangerous and absurd things. I mean, he has dog killer Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem talking about Abrego Garcia's wife. She has the audacity to say Abrego's wife secretly likes Abrego in the concentration camp in El Salvador. And Kristi Noem says, I know abuse victims. Abrego's wife, she doesn't really mean that she wants her husband. She's just a victim. This is what Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, is saying. Play this clip.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm concerned about. What she's saying today is she still scared? Many people and victims I've worked with over the years, you know, they say one thing in public because they have to survive or to protect their children. So I wouldn't say that, you know, what she's saying today is how she really feels.
And then you have on Fox from this weekend, Doug Burgum, the billionaire Interior Secretary on Fox, going around and saying, we can't call it Gulf of Mexico anymore. You could only call it Gulf of America. Gulf of America. Here, play this clip.
To you, thanks for having us. This is my first trip to the Gulf of America.
Exciting, of course.
Oh, yeah. I'm used to fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. So this is going to be a really exciting adventure.
Yeah, now we're Gulf of America.
Gulf of America, baby.
What a fascist clown show these Trumpers are. But there you have it. Fox. Karl Rove, Donald Trump panic posting last night. Good stuff. Well, hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thank you for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.